Okay, let me rewind real quick. So what happens to the band? Or is it band, group, your music group?
Oh, we're still all good friends.
Okay.
Like, yeah, at one point, like, the music industry got really oversaturated for me. Like, to the point, and this is before digital.
Okay.
Like, to the point where I was just like, I was sitting back and looking at it, and I was just like, yeah, like, most of the stuff that's coming out right now is not really entertaining to me.
Are you talking about like right now? Right now? Or
Well,
like
no,
at the
even
time?
at that time, like, it was like a lot of stuff was good, but a lot of it was like, okay, so okay, kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I come from, when it comes to creating and hip hop, I look at it as like jazz.
Okay.
Like, you can't be a jazz musician and have somebody else play your instrument.
Right.
So
you have your own soul to the instrument.
It's hip hop is all about self-expression.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't have somebody come in and you can't have somebody sit down and say, okay, tell me how you're feeling today. And I'm going to write it down for you and then you express it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's all about self-expression.
Well, I heard an interview with Tory Lanez on the Breakfast Club the other day. He's written a lot of songs for other people. Like Drake, Trey songs too. And like, people are ragging on Tory Lanez because like they saying you sound like this guy, but he wrote the songs for those other people.
Like, I'm okay with like hooks. I'm okay with hooks and the production side of it. But when it comes to actual lyrics, like, you know, everything in between, I think that should come from the artist himself.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Because like otherwise it's not you. And I feel like that's where hip hop lost its soul, because so many people, not its soul, but hip hop lost its way because so many people are really dependent on sounding like the next person, sounding like what's going to sell. Yeah. To the point where it's like, once upon a time, it was sacrilegious to bite somebody's style, but now it's kind of like accepted. You know, like everybody kind of sounds like the Migos, you know, without any kind of variation. It's just, they're just taking people's flows.
And I think it's more about the beat, because people can't really listen to songs like when they're in the club or in the car. Sometimes you just try to just vibe. Yeah, and like, to me, like, that's cool, but
there's a space for everything, right? You know what I mean? Like, there's room for everything. But me personally, and you know, with the guys that I used to make music with, it was just really. It was really the music was changing at a rate where it was just like, yeah, it's not fun anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's not like, I believe that if you're doing something that you love, you should be able to let it go when the time comes. Right. You know what I mean?
And that's hard too.
It is hard.
Define your actual emotion and then express it. Right. In a way that's rhythmic. Right. And like catchy.
And the thing about it, I look at it as, I look at my time making music as like really training for what I do now, because I can come up with an idea, a story really quickly. You know what I mean? And I can write it really quickly, whether or not it's, you know, and all of that comes with always reading, always trying to come up with the best concepts, the best ideas. And it's just like always like pen to paper, writing day and night. And so like now, whenever I sit down to write a new story or write an idea or a concept, it comes easily to me. It's just everything in between. And I've had to retrain myself too, so that I can actually write in a story format, because as you can imagine with hip hop, you have to be able to tell an entire narrative, an entire story in 16 bars. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now I'm taking what is essentially a paragraph and have to stretch that idea to 50 pages about. You know what I mean? So, and then the first book, I can look at the first book that I wrote really critically in the sense of like, this was a strong book, but I could do better. And the second book that I released, The Candy Conundrum, that's where I was like, okay, now I'm kind of hitting a stride.